Hello, everyone, and welcome to applying to Acadia University. First of all, I want to thank all of you for taking this evening to come out and listen to the session that we're really looking forward to delivering for you. I know it's a busy night. I know you have homework. Maybe some of you have been able to start playing some sports and participating in some extracurricular activities. So again, I really appreciate that you've taken the next half hour, 45 minutes to spend with us because we're pretty excited to share some things with you. My name is Leanne Murphy, and I'm the manager of admissions here at Acadia. And what I love the most about my job is the fact that I get to review the applications of every single student that applies from Canada, the US, and the Caribbean. So probably almost all of you online tonight will get a chance to get an offer letter from me if you decide to apply to Acadia. And again, I'm going to be fortunate enough to be able to take a look through your application, first assess your application for admission, and then the next most important thing, or maybe equally as important, I will assess your application and transcript for scholarships. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump in right away, and I'm going to go through the entire application process at Acadia. I've broken it down quite a bit just to take you through the process. One of the challenges that we do have when students apply is that they don't always fill out the entire application, or maybe something's missing. So one of the great parts of us getting together tonight is I can go through this with you and make sure that when you do submit your application, it is totally complete and it's ready for me to review right away. First thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your major. As some of you out there have known from the time you were 4 or 5 years old in preschool or kindergarten what you wanted to be when you grew up. So this step is really easy. This step is to select the degree that's going to get you to that career that you've always dreamed about. Others of you are out there, like I was when I was in grade 12. I knew I was going to university. I couldn't wait to go to university, but I was totally undecided on what I wanted to take. I actually applied to a different program at 5 schools. So each school that I applied to a different program. So that's how undecided I was. So if you're like me, don't feel bad. It truly does all work out in the end. You may have one major that you stick with through your degree. You may have 3 or 4. But in the end, you'll find that area that you're passionate about, and that's the degree you're going to graduate from at Acadia if you decide to do it there, which I hope. So having to select a major may seem a little bit daunting, but you do unfortunately have to do that on your application form. And not just, for example, a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science, if that's the route you're taking, but you have to narrow it down a little bit further and choose that actual major within that program. So maybe you're interested in arts and you'll select sociology. Maybe you're interested in science and you'll choose biology. What we've done to help you, I think, is put a pretty good comprehensive website together, and there's a list of all of the programs that are offered at Acadia on that site. If you click on the program, there's lots of information for you to read through, and then you can go a little bit deeper and click on the department page. And for example, like we just spoke about biology, once you get onto that department page, you'll get to see a lot about what's offered in the biology program, a selection of the classes probably, some of the professors and what their areas of research are, and then some different specialties within the program. So even though you're doing maybe a Bachelor of Science in Biology, you can still look at areas like microbiology, you can look at marine biology, things like that. So it will give you a real overview of what that major looks like as you're starting to choose. And on your application form, you do get 2 choices. So if you're undecided, put both those choices down, and then if you're scared maybe one will be full, again, you get to pick those 2 choices. For some of you, you might not have the right set of courses for both of your choices yet, so what that does is if you don't have the right course load for the first choice, and you do for the second, it lets me still make an offer letter for you right at the beginning of that application. And if you look at the little icon that choose your program, that's what you'll see when you go on our main page, and that's what will take you right to those programs. Admission guidelines are extremely important, and I'm really glad that you're all on the phone with me tonight, because what we get to do is we get to go over admission guidelines, and we also get to figure out what's required for each program. And if you don't have the right courses, it gives you time to select those required courses next semester if your school lets you switch up what you're currently registered for. On our website, we have the admission requirements broken down for all provinces and countries. So no matter where you are right now, you will be able to go onto our admission requirements page and see what specifically is required from your area. But just sort of overall, we require 5 grade 12 courses, and one of those courses has to be academic English. And then after that, there's some choices depending on which major you have selected. I've also put on the website an accepted course list for each province. So, for example, if you live in Ontario, you'll know that you have to take English, but then you'll also have this accepted course list from which you get to select 4 additional courses, and you'll know right off the bat from this list whether or not it's an accepted course in your province. Again, and if you're missing required courses, I'm going to work with you. Our application process just opened on the 1st, and already I've worked with some students, and we've lined up some online grade 12 courses for them. They've been able to switch their schedule around and things like that. So we just want to make sure that together we ensure that you meet the entrance requirements with those required courses so that you can go on and fulfill that dream. If you ever have any questions about the admission guidelines, the email to remember is just admissions@acadiau.ca. And that's not just for guidelines. Anytime from now until really the day you arrive on campus in September, that's an email address that you can reach out to with any of your questions. What I've done is I've just taken a sample of what you'll see when you log on to the admission requirements page. And like I said, there's a list of all of the programs that we have that have additional requirements. Now, it doesn't look like a big list, so don't get scared. Acadia has over 250 degree options, but what this list is, it's a list of specific programs that have additional requirements. Usually those are mathematics 12, pre-calculus 12, or chemistry 12. I know each of you probably in where you're studying, your program in math has a different name. And again, that will be on those individual sheets. So academic mathematics 12 could be data management. And in one province in BC could be foundations of math. Lots of different names, but we have all of those on that website so you can ensure that you're in the right program. If, for example, your school does not offer one of these required courses that you need, don't worry. Mathematics 12, pre-calculus 12, and chemistry 12, the grade 12 equivalents are all available for you to take online through Acadia. So if you are in that situation right now where you can't get those courses, just reach out to us at admissions and we'll help you get enrolled in those courses so you do meet those entrance requirements. The next exciting part is the application. So once you've selected those top 2 programs, once you've looked at the admission guidelines and are pretty sure you meet them, if you're close to them, don't rule it out, go on to the next step and fill out that application. And the little icon in the corner that says apply now, that's what's going to take you to our application. When you get to our application page, it's going to look like the page you see right here. And it's going to say start your application. And the one that you want to choose is undergraduate application on campus. This has been a little bit confusing to students because of COVID and remote learning, but always choose undergraduate application on campus, and that is going to take you directly into the application that you need to start your undergraduate degree at Acadia. When you click on that application, first you'll see a little box pop up and it will ask you to fill out your email address, your name, and your birth date. That's pretty standard. But the reason I'm letting you know that is because once you do this and click submit, a PIN will be sent to your email address. And that PIN is what you're going to need to enter to continue on with your application. One thing to make sure, if you do not receive your PIN within a minute at the most, check your junk mail. I did a sample when we first opened, like I do every year, and my pin went right to my junk mail. So if you don't see it, be sure to check there. Once you enter your pin, it will then let you create your password, which will be the password into your application. And then the first step is going to look a little bit like this. Once you've entered your PIN and you've set up that password, it's going to show you this picture. And what you want to do is you want to apply for 2021, 2022. And then it will put you through to here. There are some other options in that drop-down bar. Some are winter, some are summer. Make sure you click on the full 2021-22, and that's for September 2021 through until April. It will ask you for some personal information. You can see my test account right here. It's pretty simple. It's like every application you fill out. The only thing I will tell you, as this is just a snapshot of the very top, but as you get down to the bottom of the personal background section, it's going to ask you for your citizenship. If any of you tonight have a dual citizenship and one of those is Canadian, please make sure you put Canadian in. If you have a Canadian and an American citizenship, if you happen to put American in, what it's going to do is it's going to calculate your tuition as an American or an international student. So again, real important when you fill out that citizenship. It will then ask you about the program that you are intending to take at Acadia. And again, it will ask you that session one more time. So this time it's the session where you'll start. So most of you on this call, or everyone on this call that's in grade 12, will click Fall 2021. And then you'll click on the 1 or 2 degrees. And again, don't feel that you have to choose a second degree. That's certainly, it's optional. It's not mandatory. If you know what you want to take and you're set on that, then you just put that one choice in there. And then it will ask you for your course load, and you'll put full-time because most of you are going to be full-time students. The academic history is the next page. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that your high school information is added. We've tried really hard to have every institution that we know about pre-populated into our system. So for example, if I enter Nantucket High School, by the time I get NANT in there, I'm going to see a pop-up and it's going to show me that Nantucket School is in there. And then it's going to ask you the dates that you attended. I'm not a stickler for the start, but make sure that you put your graduation year as your date, as the second date. What students will sometimes do is they'll put this year, so they would put 06-2020, and what that means is that means you graduated last year. So off the bat, I'm going to be looking for your final high school transcript and confirmation of graduation, when really you're just starting grade 12. So that's just a little tip, is to make sure you remember that it's June 2021 that you'll put in that box. The only time I'll need another institution is if you attended grade 11 at another high school, or if you've taken some college courses already. Some high schools give you the option of taking a course at a local at a local college or local university. Or if one of you on the line tonight is already at a post-secondary institution and you're looking at transferring to Acadia, then we're going to ask you for your high school along with the institution that you're currently attending. We're going to look for some additional educational information. So we're going to ask you if you've already applied to Acadia. And the reason we ask that is because if you have, you've already been assigned a number and we will already have a file for you. We're going to ask you if you've taken any AP, IB courses or the IB diploma. This is really important to fill in if you have, because then we're going to look for transfer credits for your IB and AP courses. And probably you know by now, I know the teachers have all told you, but almost all universities will give transfer credits for those IB and AP courses as long as you score high enough in those. And then our IB diploma students can receive up to a full first year of university in transfer credit, which is huge. That means in a 4-year degree, you will only have 3 years left to complete in that degree. If you're online tonight here in Nova Scotia, make sure that you enter your Nova Scotia provincial student number. Once you do that, it lets us upload your transcript right out of PowerSchool, so that whole step is left out, you don't have to worry about getting us transcripts and things like that. We're able to get that for you. Undergraduate emergency contact information is extremely important. This stays with you from the time you fill out your application right into our student information system at Acadia in case we ever have to get in touch with your next of kin. It also, though, is really important to fill out because it lets us it lets us correspond with your parents about your admission application. Now, I will be honest, we're not going to reach out to your parents and say, oh my gosh, did you know that Stevie just applied? We're so happy. What this means, though, is if you're in school and your mom or dad have told you that they know you can't call Acadia, but they'll call Acadia for you and maybe check to see if a transcript's arrived, check to see if a teacher's letter of recommendation arrived for a scholarship and things like that. It lets us be able to talk to your parents, because without you giving us that ability, if your mom or dad called for you and asked if a transcript arrived, we would have to say, unfortunately, we can't release that information. So it just lets your parents work along with you while you're in school. And I would say, honestly, about 99% of our students click yes, so that their parents can give the university a quick call through the daytime, because students can't call through the day and we're not open in the evening. We'll ask if your parents are alumni, and we ask that because we do have an alumni tuition award that's given to students in their first year at Acadia if their mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, stepmom, stepdad are graduates of Acadia University. So be sure to check that off, because $500 does make a difference on that first year tuition. And then at the end, that's where we talked about you authorize us to release that information with regard to the admission process. There's some additional information that we ask for. And again, we only ask for information that we use. It doesn't always make a difference in your application, but it makes a difference in the overall process. We ask for your mother tongue. That lets us know if you've been educated in English or if you would benefit from our English as a second language program. We ask if you've been academically dismissed from Acadia, and none of you have been, so we don't even have to talk about that one. We then ask you to identify, and the reason we ask you to identify is because we do have an Aboriginal advisor on campus, and we have an African Nova Scotia Black advisor on campus. And there are also some scholarships and awards. So by clicking this off, it lets us forward that information to our advisors so that you're part of their group of students should you decide to attend Acadia. And it also gives you somebody to work out with as sort of a pre-arrival advisor that will help you with things like course registration, financial questions, applying for different bursary scholarships and things like that. So be sure to identify, because that's going to click you up with two amazing people. If you have any special needs, we have a section for this. You don't have to put anything here at all. We do give you some space to elaborate on anything you'd like us to know. Students, I find, are very honest. But again, that's your choice whether or not you share that with us. The one thing I would ask, though, is that if you do have any additional supports, please just put in the space, I currently have adaptations at my school, or let me know that, you know, I'm currently seeing a physician or a psychologist. And what that does too is it makes sure that we know that, and we can work behind the scenes to let you know who your contacts will be on campus, so that before you arrive, you've got all of those needs, adaptations, appointments, and things like that that you're currently receiving available for you at Acadia. And then I ask for additional information. And what that is really you can share anything with me. This week I've had students talk about the challenges they had during COVID with online learning. And so their grades might not be as high as they normally would be. I've had lots of students share their great extracurricular activities and things like that that they're involved in. And so it just gives us a sort of a better picture of who you are, and it gives you an opportunity to provide us with any additional information that you'd like us to know about you as we review your application. And then the very last step, you're going to, that's an agreement like every other agreement that you've filled out. Be sure to read through that, put your name in there, and then you'll click on the confirm button. and this is a review. And so I'm an administrator, so I got this message. But if anything is missing that we require to have filled out, or something doesn't look right, what we'll do is that will pop up in red so that you'll know before you submit your application that there are a couple of additional things for you to fill out. Once that's clear, you're able to submit your application. If you're having problems and you have filled everything out and it's not letting you submit the application, that's where you email that admissions@acadiau.ca email address. One of my team will take a look at that. I might even get the email. I'll take a look through that and we'll get that application submitted for you, because you don't want to have spent all that time filling it out and then have it stuck in cyberspace for some reason. And then it will take you to your portal, and your portal, my portal looks pretty blank because right now my application is just sort of in the processing stage, but your portal is where you'll see everything. It will show you if you're offered admission, it will show you your response date, it will show you the documents that we've received, it will show you the documents that you require. It's really going to be your go-to from the time you apply until the time you arrive on campus. The next step is supporting documents. And there is a spot, as you can see right there, to upload your materials. So all you have to do is take a photo of your transcript, scan your transcript, whatever is easiest for you. And if you live in Canada, you can actually upload those materials, because all Canadian high schools are able to do that upload. Unfortunately, our international regulations are a little bit different. Those do have to be sent to us directly from the institution. But again, if you are an international student living outside of Canada, or any Canadian students attending high school right now outside of Canada, just get in touch with us and we'll help you with that process of getting those transcripts and materials uploaded. Anyone can update a resume though, don't worry about that. It's only official documents that outside of Canada, we do need those sent to us officially. The next exciting part is the admission decision. From the time that you submit your application and your transcript, it will take 1 to 3 working days after your file is complete for you to receive a decision. We work really quickly. We have amazing software. It queues through right away. So I know when an application has arrived, it goes into what's called my queue, and every single day I make sure that all of the applications in my queue are reviewed with a decision before I go home. The decision viewing might be about 24 hours delayed after I make the decision, because we have to release your letter for the status update to show on your portal. And once you see a status update in your portal, you'll get a notification to your email that that status update is there, and you'll be able to see your official offer letter right on your portal. If you apply and 3 or 4 days pass and you have not received a decision, please get a hold of us right away. It's probably stuck in an awaiting materials bin, and for some reason the system didn't recognize your transcript. It might, in the upload, the schools might not have matched if there are two, like there are lots of St. Mary's schools around the world, St. Mary's High School. So if you're at a St. Mary's High School in Ontario, but when you upload your transcript, it connects to a St. Mary's High School in Massachusetts, that might hold your app up. So again, just reach out to us right away. And once I know that you're in that queue, I'll look for your application and pull it up for you. And then we'll fix whatever glitch was preventing you from going into that review portal. So what are your next steps? Well, the first one is if you apply within the next 24 hours, we'll waive that fee for you. And the bonus is we've just gone through the application, so you pretty much know how the process works, and it's going to be fresh in your mind. However, if you're not ready to fill out that application yet, take a few days, go through all of the different programs, and then just email, let me know that you've applied. And I have a list of everyone that was on the call tonight, so I'll still be able to go in and waive your application fee when I review your file. If you decide to apply tonight and you don't have your transcript to upload, don't worry at all about that. You can still apply without the transcript, and then you can just upload that transcript a day or two later, a week later, whenever you have the transcript. And then again, just a reminder, if you're in Nova Scotia, You just have to enter your student number in that file. And most of you probably already know your student number. If not, all you have to do is log into your PowerSchool portal, and it used to be in the top right corner of the portal. Again, if you're having problems locating it, just let us know. Your offer letter will appear in your portal. First, you'll get, like I said, that email letting you know that there's a status update, and then we will print that letter off, put it in the mail, and it should be at your home within 7 days of your decision. Like I spoke about earlier, that portal will also show you your admission response date. So if you do apply today or tomorrow, the nice part is you don't have to make a decision until well after you've received your scholarship assessment. If you're receiving a scholarship, you'll have all of that information long before the spring when your admission response date is. So don't think if you apply tonight, you have to let us know by like November 1 if you're attending Acadia. It is well out into the spring before you have to let us know, and there are lots more steps in that process, like residence applications, scholarships, and things like that, that will come up before you have to make that decision. When you see your decision, you'll also see that your final high school transcript and mid-year transcript are listed as required in your documents list. And that documents list is back on that portal that I showed you earlier. Don't fret, that final high school transcript we know is not available until June. It just populates into all of our offer fields. And the mid-year transcript populates in all of our offered students fields because we need that mid-year transcript to be able to do the second part of the scholarship assessment. When you apply, the transcript that you send me, which will just be your grade 11 grades, we'll do a preliminary assessment and we'll let you know if your admission average is over 80 and if you are being considered for a scholarship. And then that mid-year transcript, that's what we make the final scholarship assessments on. As you know, those report cards and transcripts are available usually at the beginning of February, and the deadline to get those to us is March 1st. And then your scholarship assessments are all complete, and students are notified of their awards, usually by about the 3rd week of March at the latest. Also, if you're in that scholarship pool that I just spoke about, you'll also see some additional scholarship documents required, and those would include a scholarship application form, some letters of recommendation and things like that, and that will all be on your portal. And then again, there'll be that email address on your portal if you have any questions about how all of those work or any tips, tricks, and things like that you're looking for. That's when your enrollment advisor will come in, who you probably already heard from, and they too will help you along with the admissions office through the scholarship process and all of these next steps. So there was quite a bit of information that you just received. And so now I just wanted to open it up and see if you have any questions for me. You've all taken the time tonight to come and listen, so please don't leave the webinar until all of your questions have been answered. So does anybody have anything?
Yeah. When is happen. Get accepted.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you, Claire.
Sorry. What happens if they don't get accepted to your first place?
Okay, that's a very good question. And that does happen. So first of all, when you apply to Acadia, nobody gets a denied letter until the summertime. So if you applied today, we would not tell you, unfortunately, no, you can't attend Acadia until you've had every opportunity to meet the entrance requirements. So if you apply today and you want to take biology, but you don't have chemistry, and your second choice was psychology, and you have math, then I would make you an offer to psychology. But if you applied to biology and you didn't have chemistry or math, I will not deny you, and no one at Acadia will send you a denied letter. What we'll do, though, is we'll reach out to you and we'll let you know that you're missing chemistry 12 and you're missing academic math 12. And then we'll get you to go back to your counselor and see if you can take those next semester. And if you can't, we'll help you find somewhere where you can take those courses. And once you let us know that that's your first choice, and once you let us know that you are working toward those entrance requirements, we will really keep that file open until the first day of classes for you. Even though you don't have a spot, you'll have what's called a semi-spot, because again, you sent us that application, you let us know you wanted that program, so we've promised to work with you to help you meet the entrance requirements for that program.
Okay, the next question is, what is the deadline to apply?
We really don't have a deadline at Acadia to apply, but students must apply and have all of their documents in and their decision by March 1st to be considered for a scholarship. And I always tell students, the sooner you apply, the better. Then you're on a radar, then you've got an application in, you've either got an offer or working toward an offer plan in place. So you're receiving those emails about scholarships, about residences, and things like that. So even though there's no deadline other than scholarships, I always say the sooner the better. And again, like my answer to the first question, if you don't think you meet the entrance requirements right now, please don't let that stop you from applying, because again, the most important part is getting that application in and then getting a plan in place if you don't meet those requirements.
The next question says, I don't have my OUAC number yet, but does Acadia use that?
We do take UAC numbers, and I know the numbers aren't up yet, but what you can do is send me a list of the current courses that you're taking along with your grade 11 transcript. I know the transfer credit summary will have sometimes the courses you're taking in grade 12, but if you have a document up to the end of grade 11 and then email me your list of courses, I'll use that until the UAC grades are available, and that's usually not until after Christmas.
Great. The next. If a school does how to access.
So if you are in Nova Scotia, I think all but a handful of schools have power schools. If you don't have power schools at your school, you can just send us a paper transcript. And then, unfortunately, even if you're outside of Nova Scotia and you do have power schools, it is only the Nova Scotia Department of Education that has clicked us in with their power schools. So again, just a paper, a scan or a photo of your paper transcript or emailed transcript, mailed transcript, anything at all. If you get that to us, we'll use that instead of your power school ID number.
Our residents been limited.
Oh, you're cutting out, Claire, sorry.
Sorry. Are residents on campus at full capacity, or has it been limited due to COVID?
Okay, right now it's been limited due to COVID, so we're not quite at full capacity. Next year, we're hoping, just like all of you are hoping, that COVID has a vaccination and we're past that. And the nice part at Acadia is, with or without COVID, we do guarantee every single first-year student a room in residence.
The next question is, how do you finish the application without entering credit card information?
You don't have to enter credit card information. You can actually submit the application without paying to submit the application. And that's the deferral that, or sorry, that's the waiver that I spoke about earlier. We don't make it mandatory to submit the application because we have special events like this where we waive the fee. So don't worry about that at all. Just hit submit and it will come through without a credit card.
Okay, when does early admissions end?
Early admissions ends as soon as you have mid-semester 1 grades in grade 12. And all that, the only difference between early admission and regular admission, early admission means we do the full assessment on your grade 11 grades, and then regular admission means that we take into account your report card that comes out in November in the middle of the first semester.
So on that same vein, someone said they have already submitted their application but have not paid yet and have not uploaded the transcript. And how does it work to get my application for free?
You just have to email me, and I will also cross-reference tonight's attendee list with the application list. And if for some reason within 2 or 3 days of you uploading your transcript, it's still showing that you require that fee, just send us an email and I'll waive that.
What is the difference between part-time or full-time course load?
That's a good question. So our part-time students take 2 courses each semester, and our full-time students take 3, 4, 5, or 6 courses each semester. So that really just depends on how many courses you'd like to take per semester. Almost all of our students are full-time students at Acadia. We do have a few part-time students, and those are usually students with a full-time job that are taking a couple of courses in addition to working full-time.
Someone wants to know, what does academia in the requirements refer to?
Academia means academic requirements. So those would be, sorry, academic courses, not academic requirements. They would be academic courses. So those are courses such as academic English, academic math, academic chemistry, academic biology. They would not be things like math at work in Nova Scotia. That would not be considered academia.
Okay. Does Acadia have a concurrent education program?
Acadia has a couple of different options. So in mathematics, students can take the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and the Bachelor of Education at the same time. Students apply to the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, and then at the end of the first year, you let your professors know that you want to do the education combination, and you do that one together. All of the rest of our programs, students now apply to in their 4th year. The nice part is that students get to meet with the School of Education right from their 1st year, so that they're taking all of those required courses we call teachables, along with the courses for their degree. Right now, we're in the process of working along with our academic sector so that students can actually apply in their 2nd year. So what that means is you'll still do a 4-year degree at Acadia, but at the end of your 2nd year, you'll have that offer for your Bachelor of Education, so you know that you'll graduate in May, and if you chose the 16-month program, you'll start right after graduation in that degree.
If you want to go on to get a Bachelor of Education, but don't know what your 2nd teachable could be, how can you choose that, and who can help us choose?
Okay, that's a very good question too. And it just sort of tails on to the last question. And that is really, you have access to the School of Education even before you attend Acadia. As a grade 12 student, if it was not COVID and we had our big open house, our School of Education would be there so that they could meet all of the students that were interested in doing their Bachelor of Education degree after their undergraduate degree. However, just like everything else going on right now, we still have all of those great team players that want to be able to talk to you. So you could, through that admissions email we spoke about, let us know that you have questions about selecting teachables, and we'll put you in contact with the team player in the School of Education that will go over what teachables are, how you choose your 2nd teachable, how many courses you need in that 2nd teachable, and those types of answers. So it better helps you with your course registration and your planning.
How do you apply to the School of Music?
Okay, the School of Music, you apply exactly the same way as the example I just showed you, where I applied to the Bachelor of Science in Nutrition. And what you're applying to is called the Programs in Music. And what the Programs in Music application is it lets us know whether or not you meet the entrance requirements to attend Acadia as a general student. And then it puts you in the queue of the School of Music. And once you're in that queue, you will get asked to submit or attend an audition, to send in some music references and things like that. Then you'll have your online audition or your in-person audition. The School of Music will go over your file, and if you do have a successful audition, you're moved over into what we call the Bachelor of Music program. So it is a two-step program, but it works much the same as that example that I just showed you, right up until you move over to the School of Music and they reach back out to you for those additional pieces of information.
Okay, so the next question says, I'm applying for business. I have my grade 12 English already, and I'm working on my grade 12 math right now, and all of my courses to come in the year. Am I able to get into Acadia or accepted into Acadia with this now?
Okay, so what I'll look for is if you're taking those courses right now, I'm going to look at your grade 11 English mark and use that as a predictor for your grade 12. I'll look at your grade 11 math mark and use that as a predictor for your grade 12. I'll look at 3 additional grade 11 courses and use those as predictors. And then if you meet the entrance requirements, that's awesome, because you'll get an offer letter right away. And then that final transcript that pops up, that's there so that we can confirm that you did meet the entrance requirements in your grades for those courses you're taking now.
Okay. If we go to a French school, would we have to take an English 12 class, or would you look at our French grade 12 grades instead?
I'll look at your French grade 12 grades instead.
The next question is, if I have recommendation letters from teachers, do I submit those with extra documents, or should they mail them in?
You have a choice. If those letters of recommendation are being used toward your admission application, you can actually upload those yourself. If those are letters of recommendation for scholarships or the School of Music, then those documents have to be uploaded by the writer of the documents. So your teacher would upload those documents or submit those documents to us, himself or herself.
Do you have any combined degree that we can combine or double major with computer science and business?
We do. We have a couple of different options. So students can do a Bachelor of Computer Science with a focus in business. And we also have a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Business Management Technology. The basic difference between the two is if you are a diehard computer scientist and you love computer programming, you love all of the back end, but you want to work in business, so you want to have those business courses, maybe some marketing courses and things like that, then computer science would be the route to start in, because again, that programming is key if that's your area of interest. If you like computers, you like creating websites, you want to learn a lot more about digital marketing, databases, anything really using the computer and technology in a business, then those students tend to lean toward the business degree with that major in the technology management. The real big difference to start out is just whether or not you want to do computer programming or whether you want to do more, like I said, web design, digital marketing. And if you're totally undecided, just let us know. And what we'll do is we will link you up with the director of the School of Computer Science and the director of the School of Business, and they can both explain those options to you to make sure that your first choice in the end is the one that you should be in. Now, again, don't ever hold up your application waiting for that, because honestly, my top, I call her my top student last year. My top student last year switched her major 12 times. She applied in the middle of October, and she switched between biology, kinesiology, and psychology. And she just went around and around and around. And I'm telling you that because I was happy to switch that major. She was truly undecided. She reached out, she talked to faculty, she talked to current students. And each time she found something in a program that she liked a little bit more, so she would just email us and ask us to switch her from one to the other. So on that question about where, you know, the computer science with business versus the business with computer science, just apply to the one you think you're the most interested in from what I've told you and then what you've read on the website. And then as we go through the process, we'll get a lot more information for you.
The next question is, what is the process to apply for a dietetic practicum placement? And what are my options if I don't get one?
Okay, that's a very good question. That one's a little bit bigger than me. My area of focus is really admissions and first year. The dietetic application students do in the last year of their program. I want to say, I don't think it's the third. I definitely think it's the last year. But what is really nice is the nutrition department is a small department. It's a tight department. The head of the department is wonderful, and she works with all of the students the entire 4 years, and they know right off the top which students are going to apply for that internship or not, and they'll work with all of the students. And then some students just self-select themselves out. I've had student assistants that were nutrition students, and one girl went on and did her MBA. Another went on and did her master's in public health. So through the program, when students do self-select out, it does leave fewer and fewer students applying for those dietetic internships. But again, I'm not going to lie, I don't know what % of the students obtain those internships. If you want to reach out to that admissions email address that I just told you about, what I'll do is I'll forward that email on to the School of Nutrition, and they'll get back to you right away and let you know how that process works later in that degree.
All right, and I think we'll make this our last question for tonight. Is there a partnership with Dalhousie or any other schools once you graduate from the applied science and engineering to finish off your engineering degree?
Yes, there is. There is an agreement with Dalhousie, and all of our students that have the minimum GPA to even stay at Acadia move on to Dalhousie. So if you do your 2 years at Acadia, you successfully complete all your courses at Acadia, you're guaranteed a spot in Dalhousie to complete those following 2 years. What's really nice I've heard from students and from faculty is that you get to start your degree in a nice small school with small class sizes. So there's lots of support for those calculus courses, those engineering design courses, the physics, the chemistry. You're getting all that hands-on, you're getting all those help sessions at our support centers. And so when you do move on to Dalhousie, you've got that really good foundation. And so you tend to be very successful at Dalhousie. Okay, so this has been a lot of fun. I hope you all learned quite a bit tonight. I'm really looking forward to the next couple of days to seeing your applications coming in and to receiving your emails. If you are emailing admissions, just start out and say, hi, I attended the session last night, because usually those emails are forwarded to me. They go to one of my team members first. So look forward to hearing from you, look forward to seeing your applications, and I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and thank you again for attending the webinar.